When we have repeating life patterns that keep happening in different situations, it might start to feel like this is our lot in life. It might actually turn into our life story. But what if that's not the case? What if the repeating life patterns don't have to become our life story, that we actually have the power to change those patterns? Hi, my name is Mahshad. I'm a registered psychotherapist and life coach. I offer practical strategies for making positive shifts in your life. When we see the same thing happening to us over and over again, it might feel like this is it for us, that nothing will ever change. I think there are some very logical reasons for that. And once we recognize those reasons, we might be able to change the patterns as well. Reason number one, confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is when the brain only registers information and experiences that confirms the bias. Our brain starts to remember it as something to look out for, and therefore we start walking through life really looking for evidence that that thing that happened to us is actually true, and in some ways disregarding evidence of anything else. The second reason, lack of alternative scenarios. So, what happens when we start believing that this is our lot in life and that the experience keeps repeating itself, it becomes a self fulfilling prophecy in the way that our reactive brain only focuses on the thing that confirms the bias I've had around this pattern. It actually doesn't capture anything else that might be true. We don't actually have an alternative story to fall back on. In the session with my clients, when they're stuck in a repeated pattern, we pause and I ask them two questions. Number one, what would you like to see happen instead? This will invite the client to imagine a desired outcome. And then, based on that desired outcome, we can start making plans and finding our way to that point. The second question I ask is, if this were not the whole truth, what else could be true? This question invites my client to actively look for evidence for moments in life and experiences that don't confirm this particular pattern or this particular belief. These two questions help shift our attention away from one way of believing, one way of thinking, or imagining that this pattern will repeat for the rest of our life. So, next time you find yourself believing that the pattern will never change, pause. Ask yourself, well, what would I like to see happening differently? And number two, if this were not the whole truth, what else could be true? This will allow you to actively involve the curious part of your brain to look for alternative ways of being, doing, and approaching the same situation. Your life story is not set in stone. By challenging old narratives and exploring new possibilities, you can rewrite the patterns that have held you back and create a new life story that actually serves you and your desires. I hope this video has been helpful. Subscribe to receive weekly videos on practical strategies for making positive shifts in your life.